Have you ever found yourself glued to the screen, episode after episode, surrendering to the just one more promise? In the age of streaming platforms, this has become an all too familiar scenario for many of us. The siren call of binge watching is hard to resist. With entire seasons of shows available at our fingertips, who can blame us for wanting to watch it all in one go? This is the era of binge watching, a phenomenon that has taken the world by storm. It's a new form of entertainment consumption, one that's fueled by the convenience and accessibility of streaming platforms. With a plethora of shows and movies available 24/7, we've become a society of binge watchers, devouring hours of content in single sittings. But let's take a step back and look at this phenomenon a bit more closely. Is it just a harmless trend? Or could it be a modern-day addiction hiding in plain sight? Binge watching, for all its allure, is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a source of entertainment, a way to unwind after a long day, even a bonding activity with friends and family. But on the other, it's a time-consuming habit that can often lead us down a rabbit hole of endless episodes and late-night marathons. The truth is, binge watching is more than just a way to pass time. It's a cultural shift, a change in the way we consume media. But like any shift, it comes with its own set of challenges and consequences. And while the immediate thrill of finishing a season in a day can be exhilarating, it's worth considering the long-term effects of such habits. So let's dive into this world of binge watching. Let's explore its impact on our lives, our health, and our relationships. Let's try to understand why we binge watch and what it means for us in the grand scheme of things. Because at the end of the day, knowledge is power, and understanding our behaviors is the first step towards making better choices. Binge watching might seem benign, but does it have a dark side? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this phenomenon in the upcoming scenes. What happens to your body when you spend hours on end in front of a screen? It's a question many of us don't consider as we dive into another season of our favorite show. But the answers might surprise you. Imagine your body as a high-performance machine. It needs regular movement, balanced nutrition, and adequate rest to function optimally. Now, imagine what happens when you park that machine for hours, even days, as you journey through the fictional worlds on your screen. It's not a pretty picture, is it? Take obesity, for instance. Hours of inactivity coupled with mindless snacking can tip the scale towards weight gain. And with every extra pound, the risk of developing health issues like diabetes and heart disease increases. Then, there's the silent enemy, our sedentary lifestyle. Sitting for prolonged periods can lead to a host of cardiovascular issues, from high blood pressure to heart attacks. And let's not forget the aches and pains. Your back and neck might be screaming for relief as you hunch over your device, oblivious to the discomfort. And what about our eyes, the windows to these captivating tales? Staring at screens for hours can lead to eye strain, causing dryness, irritation, and even blurred vision. It's as if your eyes are pleading for you to hit the pause button, but it's not just about the physical toll. Binge watching can also affect your sleep patterns, leading to insomnia and fatigue. Ever wondered why you feel groggy after a late-night Netflix marathon? That's your body's way of telling you it needs rest, not another episode. So as you reach for the remote or click on the next episode, remember this: your body is a temple and it deserves to be treated as such. Binge watching might be a fun escape, but it's not worth compromising your health. Your body might be paying a higher price for your binge-watching habit than you think. It's time to switch off the screen and switch on a healthier lifestyle. Who needs sleep when there's another episode to watch, right? Well, hold on to that thought. You see, our bodies crave a good night's rest. It's during sleep that our bodies repair and rejuvenate. Our minds consolidate memories and our energy levels get replenished. But when you're deep into a binge-watching session, sleep often takes a back seat. You tell yourself, just one more episode. But before you know it, the sun is peeking through your window, and the alarm clock is your worst enemy. This disruption of your sleep pattern can lead to a condition known as insomnia, where falling asleep becomes a nightly struggle. Moreover, even if you do manage to fall asleep, your sleep quality might be poor, leading to fatigue. You wake up feeling like you've run a marathon instead of being refreshed and ready to seize the day. Remember, sleep is a vital component of our health, and it's not worth sacrificing for one more episode. Does your mind feel foggy after a binge-watching marathon? If so, you're not alone. This mental murkiness is a sign that your brain is wrestling with the effects of excessive screen time. Let's delve into the mental maze that binge-watching can create. Imagine getting lost in a labyrinth, not knowing which path leads to the exit. This is similar to how our brains can feel after a binge-watching spree, disoriented and confused. First, let's talk about anxiety. When we binge-watch, we often get so engrossed in the plot that we lose track of time. This can create a sense of unease and restlessness as our mind struggles to switch gears and return to reality. Next, there's the big D, depression. Spending hours alone, immersed in fictional worlds, can leave us feeling detached from our own lives. This detachment can sometimes spiral into feelings of sadness and despair. Now, let's address loneliness. Binge-watching can be an isolating activity. When we choose to spend our free time alone with our screens, we miss out on the rich tapestry of human interaction and connection. Over time, this can lead to a sense of loneliness and isolation. Finally, binge-watching can impair our cognitive functions. Studies suggest that excessive screen time can affect our memory and problem-solving skills. Just as our bodies need exercise to stay fit, our minds need a variety of mental activities to stay sharp. The mental maze that binge-watching creates is a complex web of emotions and cognitive challenges. It's essential to recognize these effects and take steps to mitigate them. Perhaps it's time to swap some screen time for a walk in the park, a chat with a friend, or a good book. In the grand scheme of things, it's important to remember that mental health is just as important as physical health. So let's be mindful of our screen time and ensure we're nourishing our minds as well as our bodies. When was the last time you chose a series over a social gathering? Yes, we've all been there. The allure of the next episode, the comfort of our couch, and the ease of solitary entertainment can often overrule our social instincts. What starts as an occasional preference can easily spiral into a habit that can lead to social isolation. The world of streaming platforms is immersive, and it's easy to lose ourselves in it. But as we dive deeper into the realms of our favorite series, we might find ourselves drifting away from the real world, from our friends, our family, our social responsibilities. We start to miss out on the joys of shared experiences, the warmth of human connection, the fulfillment of meaningful conversations. In the throes of a binge-watching addiction, we can forget that our favorite characters are not our friends, that the storylines we're engrossed in are not our lives. We're simply spectators, detached from the action, detached from reality. This detachment can leave us feeling empty, lonely, unsatisfied. It's a paradox, really. We watch to feel connected, but end up feeling more disconnected than ever. We need to remember that life is not confined to the screen. It's happening all around us in every moment, in every interaction. Human connection is vital for our well-being and should never be compromised for a TV show. Ever noticed how your lifestyle changes when you're in the middle of a binge-watching spree? The grip of a gripping show is quite something. It's a vortex that pulls you in, and before you know it, a whole day has passed. Let's delve into how this habit impacts our lifestyle. First off, our productivity takes a hit. The allure of one more episode often trumps the thought of completing a work assignment or doing laundry. You might find yourself pushing deadlines, or your living space might start resembling a hurricane-hit area. The balance between recreation and responsibility seems to blur, and more often than not, responsibility gets the short end of the stick. Then comes the food. When you're engrossed in a show, it's easy to lose track of what you're munching on. A bag of chips here, a soda there, and before you know it, you've consumed a day's worth of calories in one sitting. This kind of mindless eating can lead to weight gain and other health issues. Next up is physical activity, or rather the lack of it. Binge-watching often keeps us glued to our seats, which means less time for exercise. This sedentary lifestyle can lead to a myriad of health problems, from obesity to heart disease, and lastly, our hobbies and interests. Remember that guitar collecting dust in the corner, or the book you've been meaning to finish? When we're caught up in the binge-watching cycle, these interests often fall by the wayside. We swap the joy of creating or learning something new for the passive consumption of another episode. Balance is key. Our lives should be more than just the shows we watch. So, the next time you find yourself reaching for the remote, ask yourself this: is this how I want to spend my time? Remember, there's a whole world waiting for you beyond the screen. So, how can we enjoy our favorite shows without falling into the binge-watching trap? The answer lies in balance and moderation. Let's not forget what we've learned about the adverse effects of binge-watching. From physical health issues like obesity and cardiovascular problems to sleep disturbances and mental health impacts, the toll is quite significant, and it doesn't stop there. Binge-watching can lead to decreased productivity, social isolation, and poor dietary choices. Extended screen time can strain our eyes, and the sedentary lifestyle that often accompanies binge watching can decrease our physical activity. What's more, too much time in front of the screen may impair our cognitive function and make us neglect our hobbies and interests. But fear not, these pitfalls do not mean we must give up on our favorite shows altogether. Instead, we need to consume our entertainment responsibly and in moderation. Set limits to your viewing time and stick to them. Make sure to take breaks, move around and stretch. Avoid snacking mindlessly while watching and opt for healthier alternatives when the urge strikes. Remember to balance screen time with other activities. Engage in physical exercise, pursue a hobby, or spend time with loved ones. Make sleep a priority and resist the temptation to watch just one more episode late into the night. Be mindful of the time you spend in front of the screen and the impact it has on your life. Remember that while our favorite shows can bring joy and relaxation, they should not overshadow other important aspects of life. As we wrap up, keep in mind that the goal is not to stop watching TV altogether, but to watch responsibly. The key is to strike a balance that allows us to enjoy our favorite shows without compromising our health and well-being. Remember, the aim is not to stop watching TV, but to watch responsibly. What are some ways you maintain balance? Share your thoughts in the comments below.